So my parking spot is open this morning. Very, very nice commute this morning. Can't complain about the commute at all. Very short. One of my favorite things that I like to do right when I wake up, and none of these things I do every day. I try to do them every day. I'm just not perfect. There's days that I maybe swap something around or I have to do something early, but immediately I love to start my day with the Word of God. And I like to read my daily readers. I got my Bible over here with one daily reader. I got two more daily readers over here. And then I got my journal, which I have been recently writing in. And truly, if it works. It works for me because I have to set my foundation every morning. I have to lock my head, my mind game into the right place before I start my day, before I do anything. Because there are so many days, and I say this all the time, that I don't start my day with the Lord. I don't start my day reading His Word, and something happens and it just spirals. And I just have a bad attitude for the day. And then I come back later and I read the Word, and it literally just spoke right to my life right there. So let's pick one. Which one are we going to read first? Let's read God's promises. Let's read this. I love this daily reader. My mom gave me this, man, probably when I was like 18 years old. I'm 35 now. I really had to think about that for a second. I was like, am I 36? No, I'm 35. I'm 35. I'm 35 feeling exactly like I'm 23. So let's read this first, right? May 20th, it says, "You will seek the Lord your God, and you will find him if you seek him with all your heart and with all your soul." That's Deuteronomy 4:29. It says, "Do you know God? If Adam knew him as a beloved father, if Abraham knew him as a friend, if Moses knew him as a redeemer, if David knew him as a shepherd, if Daniel knew him as a lion tamer, if Mary Magdalene knew him as a bondage breaker, if Martha knew him as the promise keeper, surely you and I can know him too." Man, every day they just make me smile because the truth is, you can know God. God wants to know you. You first have to believe who he is. And then, if you want to know him, spend time praying and talking to him. And guys, you don't have to make this a big, it doesn't have to be some crazy thing, man. Listen, I talk to God in my head while I'm working. I talk to him out loud, like how I would talk to any friend, except a much, much, much deeper connection is the same way that you talk to God, you know? And God talks to me in such interesting ways, man. I can't even pinpoint it. Maybe I'll probably put it up on here, man. I see God a lot of times in my life when I'm thinking about deep things in my life, things that I need to change, things like big pivotal moments in my life. Like I call them aha moments. Like, aha, I figured it out. It just became clear to me. And God always shows up to me in the version in I was about to say in the version of he shows up to me as a hawk, a white-tailed hawk. Now I live on the East Coast, so we see a lot of hawks. And he shows up to me all the time like that. And he speaks to me in my mind. I've heard God talk to me verbally. I'll save that for another one. But God told me, yo, Travis, it's time to start living it. And it really, from there on, it was in my 20s. It took me a long time to understand what he was saying there. And I think now I'm really grabbing it. It's take the time to live it, like really live it. Like if you say you're doing this, if you say you follow me, if you say you want to reach the destiny that I have for you, talking as if God is talking to me, then you got to start living it. There's no way in life that you could do anything, half-ass. You can't. You can't. because you just never get the full experience, man. I'm sitting here looking at my weights and I'm thinking of it as you can't do anything. If you want to work out, you have to work out hard. You have to train consistently. If that's the type of body you're looking for, if you're trying to look the best, you can't give half effort and expect 100% results. And you see, guys, this is the type of stuff that I think about in the morning. So I read and I journal. Let's read another one. You guys want to read another one? I want to read another one. I want to read another one. Let's check this out. Ready? You see me here? All right. So we go into May 20th. See, look, on this one, I'm on May 13th. So I'm a little off, but trust me, man, every day I get my daily dose of God. I need it. Confidence. How weird is this? Before I was just filming this, my camera shut off. I said, man, I probably got way too much storage on it, way too many things on it. And that was true because I had a podcast on it. So I was like, I gotta drop that off. I gotta get that podcast done. And then there were a couple other videos that I cut off there. And that one was confidence. So let's read this confidence one. Then we go get into like a little bit of a workout. We'll talk a little bit more about mornings. Okay. So, it's so important to have a morning routine, daily non-negotiables. I hear people talk about this all the time. You want to have daily non-negotiables, things that you have to do daily to set yourself up for success. And I completely agree with that. And I've kind of always been somewhat of an early riser. I've always like woken up, and especially when I started making music about 10, 15 years ago, making music, I just knew that I wanted to wake up and get right after it before I had to do anything of my day. Because look, I do landscaping right now, and I'm in the middle of my season. I'll be working, from 9 to 5, a regular 9 to 5, and the job life eats up a ton of your life, man. So one of my main passions that I'm focusing on right now is my YouTube channel, these videos, and also I just started in real estate, and that was part of wanting to be able to pivot out of landscaping and still have the security of making an income, but also the flexibility and freedom of my time to an extent, because, real estate could get busy. And all of a sudden, as much as you want to be on your own time, you're really not on your own time. You're on your client's time. You're on availability of sellers' times and things like that. But my main purpose, my main goal is making YouTube videos, making music, making content. That's what I want to be. That's what I am. I am a content creator. And this is important. Envision who you want to be. You gotta know where you want to go. You cannot get in a car, say, I'm going to drive to Florida, and you need to get on I-95 South, and you decide that you're going to take I-95 North because you believe that all roads lead to Florida. That would be crazy, right? Like, that would be crazy. Nobody would do that. But that's essentially what we do all the time when we do not have a blueprint, when we do not have a plan on what we are going to do in our lives. It's so important, man. And this is something that I truly have been working on in the last 2 years. And until just a couple of weeks ago, I really sat down and mapped out, Trav, what are you trying to do here? And it was simple. I didn't want to complicate it. I said, I want to make videos and I want to make music and I want to be a content creator on YouTube to eventually have my own coaching program along with my own private school or Patreon group where we iron sharpens iron. If you don't know me, my name's Travis. I make inspirational content using God's word as my compass. I like making vlogs. I like making talking head videos. I like making somewhat of like short film things that have a purpose, a direction. And I love to help people through videos because I'm constantly refueling my mind with content all day long. I'm watching videos that inspire me, and I'm looking at people that have amazing disciplined life, and I admire it. So reverse psychology that. If that's what you want, then that's what you need to do. Who you want to be is who you need to become. Who you want to be is who you need to become. So maybe you have these grand, crazy dreams. I know most people be like, I want the fast car, the jet, the big house, the girls, the da 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 da. That stuff is all great. But if you can't actually attain that right now, what does that ideal person look like? You need to become that person. What time do they wake up? What do they eat? What habits do they have or don't have? What do they do with their spare time? Do they waste time? These are all the questions you got to ask, because who you want to be is who you need to become. Yeah, it's simple. Simple as that. And I'm realizing this. So in my life right now, I'm shifting. I'm becoming who I want to be. And that is going to bring me to my destination. Because what do you think? You're just going to show up at your destination and start becoming that person? No, you're going to become that person first. And then when you show up to that destiny, you're not going to be surprised. You're just going to feel like you belong here. So right now, I'm going to read a little more of the word. I'm going to journal. And then I'm going to get this chest workout. Yo, I just bought a ton of gym equipment. I got a leg press. I got a seated row. I got a form of a bench press basically, but it's a machine. And then I got leg extensions and a hamstring curl machine. And currently right now I'm sitting in my ab station. I just do abs on the ground. I just do crunches and stuff, man. Simple. Consistency will break anything, man. You do something long enough, you go figure out that you're getting good at it. And you're going to figure out what you want to do more with it. How can you improve? How can you do it better? Yeah. And I also like to just step outside. So I think that's what we'll do next. We'll step outside, get a little breath of that fresh air, and then start up on this workout. Oh man, oh man. Beautiful, beautiful morning. Beautiful morning right here. Cannot complain about this look right here. This is amazing. I'm loving this. Just cut my grass yesterday. Look at that nice lawn. I wish I caught the sunrise, man. The sun will come up right over there. I definitely got birds living under my desk, under my deck. Yeah. So let me set up this tripod. And that's on the bad knee, man. I tore my knee up playing football. That's on the bad leg. Currently walking into the judgment free zone. I don't know if any of you guys got Planet Fitness by you, but Planet Fitness is judgment free. I call this gym right here the judgment free zone. Ongoing joke. My friend said, "Man, you got to start competing with Planet Fitness." I said, "I already am, man. I'm $8.99 a membership. I'm undercutting the whole market." But on a serious note, I've been thinking a lot more about I need to do more. I got all this real estate content that I really need to start pushing more. I also have a podcast that I've been editing and we've been shooting every week. I actually had to go away. I went away to Aruba. I kind of missed on a couple of weeks, and I came back. I had a lot going on, so it's been like probably a little over a month. But I dropped an episode a couple of weeks ago, so I'm dropping episode 28 of Dreams and Day Jobs podcast that I do with my boy Jeff. And I'm just thinking more and more about, I gotta post more content, and I just need to do more. There's really no excuse. How I see it is, if you're healthy, you got a phone, you got a vision, you just need to get after it. You just got to take action and start posting, because the more you post, the more you're going to realize the direction that you want to move in and what's important to you and things you don't like to do and things you do like to do. Everything just gets better with repetition. And, I'm feeling a little stagnant in real estate, even though, I had a listing and we closed on that. Um, I just still feel like I need to promote myself a lot more on all levels of things. So it just brings me to the point of doing more, expecting more out of yourself, and demanding more out of yourself. So how am I going to go about doing this? The same way you see me here right now. It's 5:30. I'm going to get a workout in for about 30 minutes, 35 minutes. I used to work out for like an hour. Just right now, it's just not fitting in like that. But it only takes me about 35 or 40 minutes to really get the pump that I need. And I'm gonna hop on my computer after that. But my daughter is gonna wake up at like 6:30, 7 o'clock. So we're gonna be spending time with her. And here would be my advice to any younger person. Do this stuff that I'm talking about before you have children. Now, granted, my daughter is super easy. My wife is amazing. She is the best mom. I have great, um, I have great parents and in-laws. So she's always taken care of, and I'm still able to do what I need to do. But I'm just saying your days get a lot shorter because I want to spend time with my daughter. I want to spend time with my wife. That's very important to me. I want to spend time with my family, direct family and in-laws. So I know people say you're going to have to sacrifice some things. Very true, but I'm not willing to sacrifice that time with my daughter while she's young. I'm not willing to sacrifice that time with my wife. That's so precious. When we come down every night, my wife works a 9 to 5. We come and we sit down and we break bread together. Like, I love that. Like, I love how we sit down and have dinner every night, watch a show or something like that. So for me, if you go cut some things out of your life, cut the nonsense out, cut the wasting time, cut the mindless scrolling, cut the 20-minute showers, like these little minutes add up, because when I'm down here, especially early in the morning, I see how fast time goes. And I see, if I'm not being productive with the time, how fast the time will go. So I'm not trying to yap to you guys all morning. I got stuff to do. I'm about to get after this workout, and then I got a full day, 9 to 5. Stay tuned for more vlogs like this. I'm going to just start showing pieces of my life, pieces of my day, to hopefully inspire you guys to chase your dreams, chase what you're here for, become the person you want to be. That's the quote of this one. And I'm probably going to title this, Become the Person You Want to Be. Because you cannot be any person. You cannot be that superhero version of yourself. You cannot be that elite version of yourself unless you actually start to implement the habits, the daily routine of what that person does. I'm talking about from what they eat, from when they go to bed, from when they wake up, from what they do with their time, from the vices they don't have, from the habits they do and don't have. The whole spectrum. You got to cover the whole spectrum. So we got some homework to do. If we want to be those elite versions of ourselves, then we got some homework to do. We need to figure out what that person does. You almost want to be like a stalker of your elite person. You want to know everything about them. That way you can implement that into your life right now and become the person that you want to be. That's the only way it's going to happen. So listen, if you guys did like this, subscribe, show love in the comments. Let's grow together. I always say it. The comment place is a place to grow. It's not a place to beat up on each other. It's a place to help one another. We actually the platform actually gives us a feed, which is the comment section, to create conversations between one another, to boost each other up, not to break each other down. And if you are on the other side of somebody trying to break you down, just know that person is a clown. and has their own problems that they think it's wise to waste time typing negativity on someone else's page when they should just be getting on their grind. But I don't know. You can't you can't break into everybody, man. You know, people do what they want at the end of the day. You need to focus on you. So I'm about to get after this right now. It's probably about 5:45 right now. And I've been talking too long. I gotta work out. Peace.